Hello everyone, welcome to another Resonite recap stream for the month of March. I'm Fruxius, I'm here with Aegis from our team,
Hello.
Ariel from marketing, Bob, finance officer, Rue from our team, we got also Nex from media. We'll be going over all the cool things that happened during the month of March on Resonite. We have a number of different topics. So the first thing, on the end of February, we have introduced the support for Gaussian splats, which are sort of like a new way of 3D like reconstruction, which provides much higher fidelity visuals. It can reproduce soft details, it can reproduce transparent and reflective things. It's a relatively popular method that's been kind of appearing over past year or two and getting kind of more in use. And Resonite now supports those natively. We've already announced it on the previous recap stream, but what has been done this month is two major additions. One of them, Resonite now supports VRM compression for the Gaussian splats. They tend to be pretty big, like for example, 3 million Gaussian splat will take over 700 megabytes of VRM, making it very demanding to render on your hardware. Resonite now supports VRM compression, which makes them up to 18.6 something-ish times smaller, meaning like that 700 splat like is going to be under 100 megabytes, which also makes it more efficient to render because it uses less of the bandwidth. The cool thing about this, it's like completely automatic. If you already import Gaussian splats, you don't need to do anything. It just works out of the box. You also have several quality settings. If you go into your settings in the dash, there's Gaussian splat quality settings. There's 5 levels, from very low to very high. Very high is the original uncompressed one, and the very low is the one that gives you most memory savings. The other big addition is now there's a tool for doing basic editing of Gaussian splats. We also have like one sample here, and I'll show you how it works. So I'm gonna use this Gaussian splat, which is one of the sample ones, and the tool is very, very simple to use. You usually select which mode you want. There's a box, sphere, and cylinder. I'm just gonna use a box. So let's do that again. Let's just select the region to cut. Then I press, and it's gonna take a little bit to process. There we go, and you can see the cut version. So for times like you will see, there's a lot of floaters, and maybe you just want to cut out like a small part of it. This tool makes it very easy to do, which is to make sure this is like the right version. And you can use a box to cut, you can use a sphere, and you can use a cylinder to do very basic kind of editing. So you can kind of clean up your scans easily in VR. So for the next topic, the content team or the art team has made a number of cool additions like last month. So they just will tell us a little bit about them.
So the art team has been going through and basically adding and refurbishing to the beginner's experience of Resonite, whether it be optimizing every single asset within the world to adding necessary information that we can add to the worlds, as well as creating a new world like the Avatar Gazebo to make it easier for new users to get into Resonite and learn the basics as best as they can. And the reason why we're kind of like adding a fresh coat of paint or refurbishing what we have now is so that we can have more time to build a more narrative experience for like the beginner's tutorial and add much more in-depth information and ways to teach the user the various different things that Resonite has. And within the essentials, if you go to the Resonite essentials under assets and Resonite assets, they are scattered within the subfolders there, like the materials have been kind of consolidated and optimized. The raw textures are within the textures folder in there, as well as in the 3D models folder within there has all the new and updated pieces. There's some new pieces here and there that were kind of like unfinished, but went through, took the time and edit them and finish them up to be used within the set as well. Things like the plants have been optimized and atlas together. things like colliders have been swapped out and changed, and also utilize the material relay component as well. Updating things like the anchors system that was in the furniture as well, where you can like select where you want to sit in each piece of the furniture and have it face you. As well as, in addition to updating the colliders, making it so that we now utilize the footstep events within Resonite to allow people to have like footstep sounds. Albeit the footstep sounds themselves haven't been made yet, but the components have been placed onto the assets themselves, as well as a system where all these sounds will be plugged into a world. And on top of all that, the raw assets for the Dawn set is pretty much almost ready to be released. Just got to do some setup on making sure that the blend files can connect with each other when you download them and unpack them, as well as the recent update of the Gaussian Splat tool. Brooks added the cylinder cropping ability. I just got to update the tool visual itself and re-upload the tools in a way spring cleaning.
It's perfect for now that we have spring.
Yes.
Excellent. And thank you so much, Aegis. And it's been definitely a lot of kind of cool things like being done, and I hope like people have like lots of fun like playing with these things. Which means we can now also move to the next topic. So there's been like a lot of like general kind of improvements. We closed about like 21 GitHub issues. There's been a lot of like bug fixes, tweaks, and small additions. We usually don't go like over every single one because there's a lot of them. You can always check them out in our Discord channel, in the update section, or on Steam where we post our release notes, as well as the devlog channel where there's like a lot of kind of stuff happening. I know like Aegis, you posted like a whole lot of cool stuff as you're working on it, so it's always the best way to kind of the freshest news. There's a few that we want to highlight though. One of them is, like I mentioned, like some of the Gaussian split like improvements. But other than that, there's also been additions to the skybox. The Gradient skybox now has additive blend mode, so you can kind of do cool effects with it. There's also improvements for the context menus, which were previously showing wrong colors and throwing a lot of exceptions in the log. And Pro Prime, he has looked into the issue and he has kind of cleaned up the whole system, fixing up a bunch of issues and making it like so there's like less log spam. We've also made fixes to the YouTube DLP, where for some users, if like videos don't load, there's a mode where you can instruct YouTube DLP to use cookies from your web browser. That was previously not working correctly. As of the latest build, it should be working correctly, so if you haven't been having issues, give it a try, and let us know in case you still have like some issues with it. But we've kind of verified things, and it seems like it should be working now. They also fixed a number of other problems, like for example with the reflection probes. If you had them changed to on-change mode for updating, in some cases the probe would essentially start kind of freaking out and it would completely tank your performance. That's now been fixed, so it should like no longer happen, which should like kind of prevent like instances where you need to like restart like Resonite. There's also other small additions, like for example the asset requests and the nodes. We always make sure that the user agent is included, which fixes some external assets and some external services not wanting to respond to requests, because when the user agent is missing, they will think it's a bot. So that's now fixed up too. We also have like some other changes, like for example for the Gaussian splits, one of the issues is you are not able to change the settings until you spawn the first Gaussian split, because these settings are registered dynamically. Now we have a system which automatically registers important settings like on startup. So they should all now show up. Same thing like with videos, like with the YouTube DLP, where you would need to first spawn a video for its setting to appear. Now the setting should just appear out of the box. There's also been some improvements on the business side, like improving our SAML implementation. That's an area that Purple Prime has been like working on, which helps a lot of our business clients and business kind of use cases. So there's a bunch of like other things. We also had some fun updates like a few days ago on April 1st. A lot of people kind of enjoyed some of the silly features, and some of them were even requested to be made into like actual features, and one of them actually was meant to remain as a feature, which is the is user lagging node, which is a real node. You can like use it. You can add like visuals to avatar, like if you're a pro Trojan, make it blue screen whenever you're lagging. You can have like fun with it, and we're keeping that one even beyond April Fools. And also, like it says here, we removed ghosts, but they still might be in there. They might just take a little bit to appear. So I think that kind of covers everything, like for the updates. And again, like check out the updates notes, check out the vlog. There's lots of details there if you want to learn more. With that, we can move to the next topic, which is general Resonite news. So one of the big ones is the progress on the audio engine. And we've been working towards separating Flux Engine out of Unity into its own process to utilize the .NET 9 runtime, which will provide a significant performance boost to CPU usage. In order to be able to do that, we need to sort of untangle it from the Unity engine, and there were two main things that were kind of like, major systems that are sort of tangling it together. One of them was the particle system, which we now replaced with our custom one that exists purely in Flux Engine, and there was photon dust. The other system that is remaining that needs to be untangled, and our own version of it, is the audio system. And the work has been kind of progressing on it. Now it's in a state where it actually works for the most part, plays audio. The audio is spatialized, it has a roll-off. There's still a number of features that are missing, some bug fixes that need to happen, but it's been progressing steadily. Probably within the next week or two, there might be like a pre-release like for testing. It's pretty exciting because once this system is done, we'll be working on the actual split of Flux Engine out of Unity into its own process, which is also like its own project. There's also like other things. We have a number of other streams that happen regularly, particularly office hours. The Resonance office hours, which is hosted by me and Syro. We also like a lot of technical questions, a lot of things about the Resonite's philosophy, its big goals, and so on. It's every Sunday. We also clip some like very popular kind of questions or some interesting questions into their own clips that are available on our YouTube channel. So if you'd like to learn more about the Resonite, about its vision for the future, about how the performance update works, about how we handle this, or what we plan to do about this and that, check out our YouTube channel, watch deep dives, and I'm gonna read this one explicitly because it's funny in the notes. There's deep dives on the multiprocess architecture and why ref hacking makes Flux sad. That's what the notes say. And also Resonate vision for the future. Same with the moderation office hours. Moderation office hours are hosted every Sunday, and we made another change based on the community feedback, where they are also archived on our YouTube channel. So if you missed any moderation office hours, you can find them there from now on. The other teams, like our team, you have your office hours
Soon to
on
be
Wednesday.
on there. Oh, I was about
Yeah.
to say also they'll also be soon to be archived on the YouTube channel as well. I
Yes.
saved definitely the past few, and they'll also start appearing there when I get the chance to
Yes.
start uploading them. And every
Yeah, that's
Wednesday
excellent.
is when we do the art team office hours.
Yes. Pro Prime has his office hours on Tuesday. He does this on Discord, and he has his own kind of archival for the audio recordings. So check out the office hours channel. There's like a bunch of like more information there. But generally, you'll be able to find archives of pretty much most of them like going forward. There's also like one more thing that I wanted to mention. In March was the announcement of MMC, the Metaverse Maker Contest. A lot of the community and me, along with the other judges, we went through a lot of the experiences that everyone in the community has created. Me and Medra, we went through literally all of them. There's been a lot of really cool stuff that was made this year. Everyone like who participated, whether you made something big or small, like you should be proud of what you made. You should be proud of the skills you learned and maybe the friends you made along the way too. If you haven't like checked out too many like worlds, I recommend checking them out. There's a lot of great content in there. And to all of the winners, congratulations, like you deserve it. So with this, we should be able to move to the next topic. Yeah, we should be good to move to the next section, which is Bob's business office hours, and Bob has a lot of cool updates for us too. So, Bob, take it away.
Hey everyone, glad to be here for another recap stream. Everyone around the world is sad about the numbers going down. Therefore, everyone here will be happy when I show them numbers going up. That's how finance works. On our first slide, it shows the size of our user base and new user acquisition over the past 6 months. New user growth has been relatively flat for the past couple of quarters, but there was a very large uptick in the paying subscribers when we implemented Stripe in February. I'll speak more about that in the following slides. The brilliant minds behind our engineering, art, and marketing teams have spent the first quarter this year drawing up plans to deliver exciting new things. Many of these are going to be implemented in the second quarter. While they've been toiling away, I've been making my own plans. We've amassed a small war chest to do a large, multifaceted marketing push in the summertime that will greatly grow the size of the platform. For our recently expanded mentor and moderation teams, you're going to have your work cut out for you. Stay tuned for announcements on our Discord, and please continue to support us by liking and commenting on sponsored videos when they're announced. Let's move on to the next slide, where we have the 6-month breakdown of our business to consumer revenue. The February subscriber increase on the first slide shows clear financial results on this slide. As you can see, the Stripe implementation was a smashing success. There was an immediate large increase in revenue and a significant drop in fees. Good numbers go up, bad numbers go down. This wasn't a one-month anomaly as the trend continued into March, and we're expecting good results in Q2. The green bar is doubly significant, as it means that solely on B2C revenue, our net income after fees is more than enough to cover existing payroll and server costs. While we do have small and medium-sized business deals, that revenue is not as consistent, and directing it towards marketing spend and other large purchases makes more sense. It is because of the support of our subscribers that the team can be focused on giving the best possible platform for you to spend your time on. Let's move on to the last slide and talk about next steps. Okay. While 28% of the gross B2C revenue is now coming through Stripe and PayPal, this only represents 14% of the total subscriber pool. Yes, you heard us. We even now support PayPal, so no credit card is required. The difference between 14.5% and 5 to 7% is truly significant. The early adopters are our most generous donors, giving almost precisely twice as much as the average subscriber. We don't expect 100% of our subscribers to make the transition, but my forecast is about 50% by the end of the year. I know many of you watching have already made the switch, but now I must ask another favor. Help encourage the other 86% of users to make the transition. It would mean a lot to us to hit that 50% mark, because that will represent significantly more money for expanding our payroll. I hope everyone has received the dopamine of seeing good numbers go up. I wish I had even more big announcements for this recap stream, but I'm going to wait until the ink is dry on those. You'll just have to tune into future recap streams to hear that news.
That was excellent, thank you, Bob. And it's like really amazing, to see how, just switching the service, it instantly, changes the numbers. So everyone, who switched from Patreon to Stripe, thank you so much. With this is all our main topics, so we are now free to open this to questions from the Twitch chat. So if you'd like to ask us anything, either about the updates, about the company, the financials, pretty much anything you wanted to ask us, feel free to do so. Next question is from Lexivo. When will Stripe be out of beta?
Oh, I think I can hop on that question.
Yeah, do you want to take this one?
Yeah, so right now we've had a successful launch. We do need to expand on a few UI elements and do a general cleaning. We've had some conversations with people about that recently, and I think that in the not too distant future, you should see some large improvements on the UI portion of it, as well as rolling out a couple of additional features. But that's part of the, hey, you're going to have to wait for a future recap stream before I can give an announcement on that.
Next one's from Slide of Roof. Do you have plans to make sessions that are always active for newcomers to jump in and mess around, then have users in privates, as I see new users as mentor and they ask where the users at? We don't have super concrete plans right now, but we definitely like to kind of host more sessions and more events in the future. So we don't have any announcements, but there's definitely something we would like to happen at some point.
Within the tutorial and Cloud Home, there will be that teleporter that you'll be able to use. It'll be also copied over to the Cloud Home. But within that teleporter, you'll be able to choose different places to go, whether it be, well, if you're in the Cloud Home, back to the tutorial, or from the tutorial to the Cloud Home to be able to travel to the Avatar Gazebo, or to be able to see what kind of open sessions there are within Resonite.
The next question's from Jack the Fox Otter. How excited are you for multi-process architecture? Yes, I'm now like working on the audio system, and I'm like, part of me wants to like add a bunch of cool audio features, expand it a bit, but the other part is like I just need to do like minimal viable product, make it like feature parity, sprinkle a few things here and there, but nothing like too big, because like the multi-process architecture switch is now getting close, and we've seen a lot of data from like running headless, which already runs on .NET 9, where it runs like literally several times faster with the same code. Like it's literally the same code. There's no difference in the code itself, just the runtime switch makes it several times faster. The next question's from Grand UK. Someone on YouTube with about multi-process architecture from Resonance asked why processes instead of threads. I know why, but they might be watching now. I did actually respond to them like on the YouTube one, but Resonite already uses thread. Like we use very heavy multi-threading, and the problem is that multi-threading doesn't solve any of the problems we're facing. It's pretty much like simple as that. One of the major performance pitfalls is because of the runtime we are using. We are using the because Resonite is embedded within Unity, and Unity uses the mono runtime and a very old garbage collector. Those are sort of like responsible for its code running very slowly because it generates very suboptimal code. It also makes it so multi-threading actually tends to hurt it a bit because the garbage collector, it's shared. So like if the threads do a lot of work in the background, they will freeze the entire application because the garbage collector has to freeze everything, collect a bunch of memory. By moving it into its own process, we can use the .NET 9 runtime, which one, it generates way more efficient code. So, like I mentioned earlier, even with the literally same code, the same multi-threading like we have right now, and I'm not saying, we won't do any multi-threading improvements, there's a lot of stuff to be done there as well, but even with the same code, no code changes, with .NET 9 it literally runs several times faster, like it's a pretty massive improvement. I also checked the Fox Otter, donated 200 bits, and is asking, what do you like most about Resonite? Question to all of you. I mean, for me, I don't like answering these kinds of questions because there's always so many things I like. But I'm gonna make it easy. I'm gonna say I like the diversity of all the things that people make on it, and the variety.
I'll give a very straightforward answer. Gambling inside Elysium, yeah. I want to see my numbers go up.
Like sharing the content that we make, it's probably the funnest thing for me. Just being able to like create something and have people enjoy it.
Being able to build cool things and sharing it with people, I definitely share that as one of my favorite things, as well as like all the shenanigans that can happen in this platform.
Yeah,
Yes.
I agree with
The
my
memes are
friends. Collaboration with all people around the world is one of the most amazing things about Resonite, and why I love it.
I think the creativity that people have in here is just like nothing I've ever seen. Just being astonished by some of the things people come up with that I never could have imagined that you can make in here. That's what I like about Resonite.
So thank you everyone, and thank you everyone for being here, helping like nobody's announcements. Thank you everyone in the stream for joining our recap stream, for supporting this platform, whether it's by supporting us on Patreon or Stripe, which if you're on Patreon, like we recommend moving even with the same amount, because we will get more money out of it. That kind of helps us a lot. But even like, if you're not supporting us, we're just, part of the community. If you're creating stuff, like whatever you do with the platform, you're part of this place, and you are like, what makes it go from this pile of code into this like living, breathing thing. So thank you very much for joining. and thank you like for watching, and looking forward to seeing you either at our of individual office hours or at the next recap stream. So thank you very much, and bye.
Thank
See you
you.
later. Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.